This video is to show you how to do your bedroom electrical construction drawing. So whenever we do this drawing, again, we're not going to reinvent the wheel. I would like for you to open your last drawing, the electrical construction drawing. It should be here under Start. If it's not there, you can go to Open and find your electrical construction drawing that we just did. And then we'll just go ahead and open that. And the first thing I want you to do, because this has all of our blocks and all of our layers and all the stuff that we made, it has our components in it, and it even has a legend already started for us. So the first thing I want you to do, though, is I want you to do a save as. And we're going to save this as our bedroom drawing, because I want you to keep the construction drawing. If we just save over it, we will lose our construction drawing. So I want you to make this a new name, call this the bedroom electrical drawing, and then we'll hit save. I'm not going to save this because I already have one made. But then once we get that saved, and I want you to delete all this stuff here. You can leave your components because a lot of them would be the same, the legend. And then whenever we get done, we can change. So we'll leave all this stuff the same, but we will change this to revision 2 now since we have revised it. And then we're going to give it a new revision date, and then we are going to change the name to just bedroom electrical drawing. And then we have to go with the model here, and you have to do the same thing. You have to delete all of the stuff, and then we'll start drawing. I'm going to show you how to draw the floor plan for just the bedroom, and then I will show you how to put some of the receptacles in there. But again, we're progressing a little bit here, so I'm not going to show you every detail. I'm going to let you figure out how to do most of it on your own, but I will still show you how to do some of the concepts. Okay, once we have our file saved as a bedroom electrical drawing, and we have our old stuff deleted, and we have it deleted out of the model, I have shown you the floor plan for the bedroom, and I give you dimensions. You will not need to do the dimensions. They're only on here for our reference, so we know how to draw it and what size to draw it. And I do want you to draw it with these dimensions, because these will be the dimensions that we use for our house, the final floor plan of our house. So when we get the bedroom done, that will be one room that is done for the final project. So I'm going to show you how to do this, and I'm going to let you do some of it on your own, and I'll show you how to do some of it as we go. So I'm going to start by just drawing the outside of the outside walls. So the outside walls are 6 inches thick. The inside walls are only 4 inches thick. So we're going to draw the outside of the outside walls first. And if you look, it's 11 feet, 9 inches, and 7/8. So we want to make sure that we are in our wall layer. So that will make them the correct color and make everything easy if we need to hide that layer. So we're going to start with a line. I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to try to get it pretty close to where that is. And I'm just going to click. I'm going to go on a horizontal plane. And then I'm going to type in 11 feet. That's just 11 and a hyphen. And then 9, and then a dash, or I like to use the minus sign, and 7 divided by 8. So that is 11 feet, 9 inches, and 7/8. So that would be the length of our wall here. And then our wall coming down is going to be 18 feet, and then 2 inches. And then this would be the same as our first wall up there, 11 feet. Oops, I'm not going in the right plane. You got to make sure that you're going in the horizontal plane. So it's 11 feet, 9, and then the minus 7 divided by 8, 7/8. And that should make us as a vertical wall there. So I want to show you maybe a new procedure here, how to make our wall thicknesses. If we click on this little icon up here, this is called an offset. So what it's going to do is offset our walls to our thickness. So we're going to click on this, and we're just going to type in 6. So our walls will be 6 inch thick. So if we select the wall, and you notice that it moves it over 6 inches. So we can either go to the outside or the inside and make our walls 6 inches thick. And we can do this one here, the same thing. We'll bring it in 6 inches. So then we have a 6-inch wall on the outside. Now the inside walls are only going to be 4 inches, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click the offset. I'm going to type in 4. We're going to select our interior walls, move it over 4 inches, and move it in 4 inches. And then all you have to do is just trim these the lines in the middle to complete our exterior of our walls. I'm going to let you delete the rest of them. Okay, now we're going to add our wall for our closet. So we're just going to select a line, and you notice the closet is 2 feet 1 inch deep. So we're just going to draw us a line here, and we're going to come down, and we're going to go up. Again, it's got to be straight up, and we're going to go 2 feet and then 1 inch. And that will be our line over. And we're just going to go all the way over until we hit the intersection of our line. We will notch out for our door in just a minute. So we're going to do another offset here, and we're going to do this another 4 inches. So we'll click on our line and move it up 4 inches. So now you notice the door for our closet is centered here, 2 feet 4 5/8 inches. So I'm going to have you draw a line from the end of the line we just made, and I want you to come over. Again, it's got to be on the horizontal plane, 2 feet, and then 4 5/8 inches. And that will be where our closet door will go. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so we can see a little better to make our line go to the intersection. So we can delete our construction lines that we just added. So we'll highlight those two and delete them so we don't get too many lines on our drawing. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. And then when you get that other line in there, we can trim the 2 lines in the middle off to make us room for our door. So get your 2 lines drawn and trim that. You hit the trim button. I didn't show you how to trim it, but you can figure that out. We're going to trim these 2, and then that gives us space for our door. And now I have given you the layers. There should be a bifold door in here that is 6 feet wide. You should be able to find it here. Here's your 6-foot bifold door. So I'm going to click on it. You notice that it is in the wrong orientation. So I'm just going to put it out here for now. And I'm going to do a mirror image of that. So I'm going to click on the object and bring it around to where it's oriented correctly. And then I do want to delete the source this time. And then we're going to just highlight it. We're going to move it. And it should fit in our doorway if we did everything correctly, the way it should look. And we can make sure that it's in there correctly. That is just a little off. I'm going to trim that up just a little bit. So I'm going to delete this line. I think my line was just a little off. I think it was lined up. I just had an extra line in there. But that will be how we do our bifold door. That's pretty simple. Now I want you to do the regular door, and I do not have a block for our entry door here, so I will show you how to make our block. And I want you to do the opening. Just draw a line that's 3 foot 4 inches, and then draw another line that's 2 feet 8 inches, and then we'll remove the opening, and then I will show you how to do the door. So this is a 30-inch door. The rough opening for a 30-inch door is 32 inches, and that will give us room for our door jambs on the side, and we're going to draw them in. Again, I didn't trim these, so trimming them was really easy. So what I want you to do first here is we need to go to our door label layer. So click on your layers and click on the door layer. And we do want the doors to be a blue color, you can kind of choose whatever you want for the door color. I just got two. So our door jamb, we're going to click on this point right here, and we're just going to come up 1 inch. It's going to be in the vertical plane, 1 inch, and hit enter. And then we're going to come over 4 inches for the thickness of our wall. And then that should come down to the end with our wall. And we're going to make this a full square here. So that will be the door jamb for this one side. And again, there's no use in reinventing the wheel. So what I would like to do is just highlight this, and we're going to copy it. We're going to select this corner of the door jamb, and I missed the corner. So let's try that again. We're going to highlight it. I'm going to hit copy. Select this corner because it's kind of lined up with the end of this one there. So that will put our door jamb on the both. So we're going to make us a right-hand door. That means the hinges will be on the right side as you're looking at it to go in. And we're just going to do a line from here, and this should be again a 30-inch door. So we're going to draw a line 30 inches, and you can just type in 30 inches. Again, it needs to be on the horizontal plane. So our door should be all the way open as we look at it. So we want a horizontal plane, type in 30. And then we're going to escape again, and I'm going to do an offset. You could go ahead and finish it. I just want to get you to kind of used to using the offsets. I'm going to make our door 2 inches thick. So I'm going to hit 2, and then I'm going to add it 2 inches thick. And then we'll add our lines on the inside there. Whoops. Again, you got to click on the end. So we're going to click on the end of our door and make the fill our door in. And then do the same thing on the other end. And I missed it again. Now don't do what I do. Do it correctly. So click on line, click on this end, and then click on that end. Now, see, that's hard. That's not that difficult, is it? So we got one more line to do our doors. We need to show the swing of our door. And again, we're going to do an arc. I'm going to show you, because I like doing the 3-point arc, I'm going to show you the difference and then the 3-point arc. If you do the 3-point arc, we're going to click on the end point of our jamb and go to the corner of a door. You notice that our arc keeps going here. And I want to do it where it is, so move your mouse to where it is in the vertical plane, and then we're going to click. And if you notice here, your arc is a little long. So if you do it that way, you have to trim the arc. And it only trims it at that section. So I'm going to escape, and I'm going to show you the difference in doing that and doing the start end of the arc. So if you hit the arc and you hit the start end angle, and then you can click on the door and on this edge of the door jamb, and then go in again to your vertical position. And that is all. That saves you trimming that door, and it makes it, I think, a lot better of an arc. So this is our 30-inch door. I would suggest that you make a block out of that. So I want you to highlight the whole thing, and then you can create your block. I already have one of these created, but you can create a block that says a 30-inch door, maybe even a right-hand swing if you want to, or just a 30-inch door. We will be using some of those else in some of our other drawings. Okay, now we have our doors in there. We have really one more step to our floor plan. We need to add our windows. The windows are really easy, again, because I have made you a block for that. You see how easy or how much easier this CAD is when you have the blocks. So I have a 6-foot window here. I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to drag it out here just close to where it needs to be. So we're going to put a window on each of the exterior walls, and I want the window to be centered in our wall. So to do that, we're just going to highlight our window, and I'm going to hit move. I'm going to go to the midpoint here of our window, and then the midpoint of our wall in there, and that will put our window in the middle of that wall. Then we'll do the same thing with the wall on the side. We'll add our window, but you notice it is oriented in the wrong direction. So first, this time, we're going to have to rotate it. So just click on rotate, click on the end point, and you can bring it around. to where it is oriented correctly. And then just highlight it and again move it from the middle of the window to the middle of your wall. And then, well, sorry, our wall is, we need to trim this edge here first. I did not trim the edges here. We need to trim this wall and that wall before we add our window. So now we'll try this again. So highlight our window, hit move, go to the middle of our window, and in the middle of this wall should show up as our middle point. So there we have the windows in the two middles of our windows. So that's how we're going to do our floor plan. Now we're ready to do the electrical drawing, and I'm going to let you do most of that. I will show you where to put the receptacles and where to do the ceiling fan, and then you will be on your own as far as wiring it up. So to do your receptacles, we need them 6 foot apart. So each one of these windows is 6 foot. So we're going to put them on the bottom of each window, and then one on each side of this wall, and then one on each side of this wall, and then just do your arcs from one receptacle to the other. You know, make sure that you're in your wiring layer, and then I'll show you how to do just these last few here. We're going to do our arc again. We got the start, end, and angle selected. So we're going to find the end of our receptacle here. We're going to go to the end of this receptacle, and we're going to make our arc. And I went the wrong way again. I told you not to, and I did the same thing. So we're going to go from the end of this one to the end of that one. Again, zoom in so you can see it. And then we'll make our arc. And if we just go in the vertical position, it'll be there. And I want to add our home run now. Again, we should have our home run in our blocks. But you notice our home run is oriented the wrong direction. So we're going to have to do a mirror image of that and then attach it to our last receptacle. And that will be the way we do our receptacle wiring diagrams. Now that we have our receptacles wired up, that was pretty easy. So now we're going to start with our lighting circuit. So we want to make sure that we're in the correct layer. So I want your lights to be in the lighting and fan layer. So I'm going to show you how to do the ceiling fan. This is going to be a 52-inch ceiling fan with a light. So we have two circles here. One circle is really for the fan, and the other one would be for the light inside the fan. So we're just going to start by drawing us a circle out here, and I want the first one to be just 4 inches, and then we'll do a 3-inch circle just right inside that. We'll go from the center of that one and make this a 3-inch circle. So then that will be the core of our fan. So again, this is a 52-inch fan. That will be the diameter. So the radius of this is going to be 26 inches. So we're just going to come out here with a line, go to the center of our circle, and come out. And again, it's going to be on the horizontal plane, and just go 26 inches. And then we're going to come out, so that will be the outside edge of our circle here. And then we're going to do another line here, and we're going to go out only 8 inches. So this will be the inside circle of our line. So we're going to draw another circle out here. This is going to be 4 inches. And then we'll draw a circle at the back. That's going to be 3 inches. So that will be the start of our blade. And we're just going to have to connect the lines here. So we're going to go to the tangent of this one, to the tangent of that one, and then do the same thing on the bottom. And that will be making us a blade. And then we have to trim the stuff on the inside out. So that will make us that will look like us a blade. We got just a little bit of work to do here. We're going to make a little bracket for this blade. So I'm going to zoom in a little more here. I'm going to do just a little more trimming here. We don't need all of this line or that line. Well, I think I'll leave that line because that goes to the light. So I'm going to trim off this part of that line. But I do want to make this line just a little bigger. And again, we are working with the offsets So I'm going to do on the offset, I'm going to click, I'm going to do this 0.5, and we're going to offset this 0.5 in this direction, and then we're going to do it 0.5 in this direction. So our bracket will be about an inch long, and then we're just going to delete the one in the middle there. Oops, we're going to delete the one in the middle there. So this is one of our blades of our fan. So now we just need to make this 5 more times. This is a 5-bladed fan. So if we have a 5-bladed fan, then we need to figure out. So we have a 5-bladed fan. So the angle of that is going to be 72 degrees. And I just took 5 divided by 360. So each one of these should be 72 degrees apart. So what I want to do with this is just rotate this. First I want to make a copy of it, so I'm going to select the whole thing here, and I'm just going to copy it just so that we can have something to add it to. And then I'm going to put another one just right on top of the other one. So I'm going to copy this, and we're going to go to the center of our circle again. And I'm going to copy it and put it on the center of this circle. And then I'm going to, I got a bunch of copies out here. And then I'm going to select just the fan blade parts. And I'm not going to make a window. I'm going to select each one of them. I'm going to zoom in and select the bracket as well. And then I am going to rotate this. Click the rotate button, and we're going to go from the center of our fan here. And I'm going to rotate this and just type in 72 degrees. And that will move our fan to the 72 degrees. And I'm going to delete this, and then we'll just do the same thing. I want you to copy the fan and put it right on top of the other one. And we will have to do this one this time because we want to rotate them 72 degrees. So I'm going to, this time I can select the whole thing here. So I'm going to do a window, select this, and select our bracket. And we're going to do a copy. And I'm going to go from the center of our circle, and then I'm going to put it back. So I'm just going to go back to the same spot there. So I have really 2 of them on top of one another. And again, this time you just have to click the individual lines. So I'm going to click each line, and I'm going to zoom in and click each line of the bracket. And then I'm going to rotate this again from the center point of our circle. And again, we're going to go 72 degrees, and that will be the way we make our fan. So I'm going to let you go ahead and finish that. You can just copy them, and you have to do 2 more blades, and they should give you the same distance between each blade. And then when you get it made, I want you to create a block that says 52-inch ceiling fan. Now once you get your fan made as a block, I want you to put this in the center of our room. To find the center of the room, we're just going to come here, we're going to click a line, and we're going to come to the center point on this wall, and just come out in a space somewhere, and then we'll do the same thing with the center point of this wall. And where those 2 lines intersect, that should be the center point of your room. And then I'm going to highlight our fan, we're going to click move. We're going to go to the center point of our fan and go to where that intersects, and then our fan will be in the center of our room. And just delete those lines that we added to there. So we're going to put the switch here on the, as we come into the door. So we're going to have a home run that goes to our ceiling fan. Then we'll have a wire from a ceiling fan to our switch, and that will be a line that's alone. And then we're going to have another, so the wire, it's going to come from our home run to our fan, and from our fan to our light in our closet, and then from the light in the closet we'll go to the switch on the outside wall of our closet. And then we're going to have to add the different conductor sizes to our wires that goes to our different receptacles. So this is how your drawing should look after you get all of your components in there. You should have all your receptacles. should have your home run going to your ceiling fan, and then from there it goes to your light in your closet. The light in the closet needs to be centered in the closet, and then going to our switch on the outside of our closet. And we'll have a wire going from our ceiling fan to the switch that's just inside the door. And then I left the hardest part here for last. We need to do our wiring sizes. And on this one here, I made just a new home run. So we'll have to add our wire to that. So if we click on the home run here, and I'll show you how to add these, but we need to rotate this. If we do from our center point here, like we did in that other drawing, and get it fairly close to where the center is in there, and we can zoom in a little bit so we can see, and then it didn't work. So rotate it from the center point, rotate it around until we get about where we want it to be, and then click, and that will be where we add that. So we should have a block for these. So if you just hit insert, click on your conductor wiring and go to where you find the middle point of your arc, and then you'll have to select the wire and then rotate, go from the center point here and rotate it around again to where you're in the circle is in the center of your line. So that is kind of the hard part. It's a little tedious. It's a little doing by hand. So you have to add all of these, and these are all 12-2 conductors, so they'll all have the same conductor with them. And just find the center. Okay, once you get all of your wires on there, and make sure you don't forget any of your wires. Make sure they all have the correct rotation on them. So now what we want to do, and this is almost our final project, I want to put this into our layout. So I want you to highlight the whole thing and then do a Control-C again. So we're copying the entire bedroom, and then we're going to come over here to our layout, and then we're going to do a Control-V and paste this. And I want you to paste it somewhere out of the way of everything. And then I want to highlight it, and then we're going to do, and make sure you don't highlight your template down here. And we're going to do a scale, so SC, and then enter, and then it's going to be a 1 to 30, just like we did the other ones. It's going to be a 1 to 30, just like we did the other ones. So it's going to make this really small, and you can just highlight the whole thing and click move, and get it closer over here to where you need it to be in your layout. And we can zoom in to that and see how it kind of looks. And actually that looks pretty good from just doing it from out there. And I know that looks really small for our picture, but this will be the size that we need it for our house when we do our house plans. So for right now, we're going to do that. So I want you to do the legend. This legend should be about the same. You'll have to add one for the ceiling fan. Put the symbol for your ceiling fan over here. Okay, after you have all your stuff done and your ceiling fan in your legend, then all we need to do is do a save this as the bedroom electrical drawing, and then submit it in Blackboard.